When the market started to push, you have to make those decisions pretty quick, changing the bias. You can't stay short. As Wix started to pull back, the market started to bounce right here, 10 a.m. So we always cover our first profits into 10 a.m. So the bounce all came at 10 a.m. We cover our profit. So once 2350 is breaking, you have to get out, and you see the clouds are pushing, we get out. Basically, QQQ pushes over the cloud, we get out. Today was all about 3450. SPY was pushing, but it rejected 3450. You see this? So at this point, of course, we covered our shorts because 10 a.m. bounce. Other thing, the important thing, the SPY reclaimed the pre-market lows. When you reclaim pre-market lows, you should not be short because you only want to short when the pre-market lows break. And remember, that was the pre-market low right here. And when we shorted it, we covered it. We made a little bit money and we covered the rest of it. That's fine. Now comes how do we long it? So the VIX strategy that I gave in the morning, it kind of worked. If you simply bought with the pre-market lows risk and you went to bed and put your stops in, you made money by end of the day. But we were trying to time our entries, and what we got was we got one fake out. QQQ pushed over the clouds and then it failed. We were trying to do this. Sometimes we don't have to wait for the candle open, and sometimes you have to get back in and you use the lows of the candle and you can do it. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. That's fine, because when it doesn't work, you don't lose too much. That's the key. Because VIX started to bounce. Why didn't it work? As soon as we tried to go long, VIX bounced from that 2350 area and reclaimed. That's why we got out of the longs, and you could short scalp it, but you will lose money as we bounce here. So that was fine. So when that happened, we took a loss basically. QQQ was definitely a loss, and it's a failed curl. So that was a failed curl. So then came the second curl. It's something to note. Whenever there's a trend line or there's a chart pattern or there's a flag, that curl becomes more efficient to trade. And that's what happened. Second 512 curl pushed your stops under right there, and then you long it. And guess what? The VIX finally broke the plan I gave, VIX 2350, and then you get long. And this is where you make money. But now comes other tricky part. It was not a smooth push. We are going into the gap. Never forget the concept of gap. When we start to go in the gap, we fill the gap usually. When we're filling the gap, this pullback comes. Pullback comes, pullback comes. This pullback was at 1210. VIX started to fade, but market didn't move much, but it was moving. This was the choppy move. You could make a little bit here. Now when it dips here, you can either stop out or you can wait. A lot of traders will stop out here, but the thing is, still holding 3450 clouds. Pushing, coming back. Pushing, coming back. Really, it was not a clean trend. You really needed a lot of patience, because when you're trading, especially the option traders, when you get these three candles, they panic. And that's valid because the options lose a lot of money. So today we had to use the 3450s. That was your stops. So that's when I say that today bounce was tough to trade for the market index traders. It was not an easy bounce to trade with the options, but with the shares it was fine, especially if you go to the midday curls. Because remember, usually where we used to 10 a.m. curls, also the second curls are sometimes better when VIX broke down here. If you respected 3450, guys, you made money. It was all about 3450, and then the sudden push comes and you make money.
Come to trade with Ripster. Join the community at www.tenettradegroup.com.